Namaskaram. Welcome to the 17th episode of Mother Earth Speaks to Corporate series. So I have done 50% of Tirupavai. 15 verses are completed. In the last 10 verses, starting from 6th to 15th, we had seen Sri Andal waking up 10 girls and in the process identified 10 benchmark alvars from whom we can learn a few attributes and skills. So with this, the team formation is complete. So the team formation, the last 10 verses we have seen, the team was formed by one by one, by adding one girl after the other. In the process, there were a lot of arguments, questions, answers, etc., etc., etc. Then they had to come as a total team. Now setting up themselves as a unified team to march ahead in their important mission. So in the team formation, there are stages. So they call it as forming, storming, norming, and performing. So the three stages are almost over. The team has been formed. They have stormed within themselves, trying to tease each other, pull up each other, and things like that. So now they have got together as a single team, and now they are determined to go ahead in their mission further. So it beautifully connects to the current corporate scenario as well. So now this is a time to move ahead and plan a strategy around that. The next coming verses, few verses, maybe up to 25th, 26th, she will talk about the various strategies, plans, etc., in the path of the mission to success. So today, Pasaram is the first step that they are taking. Nagana ninna Nandagunmudu Koil Kapani. So before we get into the detailed discussion, so let us hear the song and then proceed.
நாயகனாய் நின்ற நந்தகோபனுடைய கோயில் காப்பானே கொடி தோன்றும் தோரண நாயகனாய் நின்ற நந்தகோபனுடைய கோயில் காப்பானே கொடி தோன்றும் தோரண வாயில் காப்பானே மணிக்கதவம் தாழ்த்திரவாய் வாயில் காப்பானே மணிக்கதவம் தாழ்த்திரவாய் ஆய சிறுமியரோமுக்கு நாயகனாய் நின்ற நந்த கோவனுடைய கோயில் காப்பானே கொடி தோன்றும் தோரண வாயில் காப்பானே மணிக்கதவம் தாழ்த்திரவாய் ஆய சிறுமியரோமுக்கு அரை பறை மாயன் மணி வழுன நெருநலைவாய் நீதான் மாயன் மணி வழுன நெருநலைவாய் நீதான் தூயோமாய் வந்தோ துயிலழ பாடுவான் மாயன் மணி வழுன நெருநலைவாய் நீதான் தூயோமாய் வந்தோ துயிலழ பாடுவான் வாயால் முன்னும் முன்னும் வாயால் முன்னம் முன்னம் மாற்றாதேயோ வாயால் முன்னம் முன்னம் மாற்றாதேயோ மானி நேய நிலை கதவம் நீ கேலோரம் பவாய் வாயால் முன்னம் முன்னம் மாற்றாதேயோ மானி பவர் தூயோமாய் வந்தோ துயிலழ பாடுவான் வாயால் உன்னம் உன்னம் மாற்றாதேயோமானி நேய நிலை கதவம் நீ கேலோரம் பவாய்
So there was a very nice Mohanam by Vimala Srinivasan. Thanks, madam. And thanks for doing this in Mohanam instead of the conventional Darbar. This Mohanam fits this verse beautifully. This raga is the ancient raga, very ancient raga. The human race would have heard. This is a derivative of the 28th Melgartha table raga, Hari Kampodi. And the speciality of this raga is it is fit for description, a narrative, descriptive narrative. And this also is talking about the scenario and describing how it flows. So it is fitting into the scheme of things. So Andal has now formed the team. Now it is ready in the performing stage. Now they have to go and meet the final mission. And the team also cannot do it on its own. It needs the support and blessings of various people around them. Of course, Andal mission is to reach Lord Krishna ultimately. And she also knows that without his help and guidance, it cannot be done. So he has to be taken along, he has to be consulted on a regular basis, for which they should have an access. And also, Kannan is not going to do anything without consulting the people who are close to him. We call it the inner circle. So, in the process of reaching Kannan, Andal also wants to have a kind of a friendship with all the people around Lord Krishna, so that her job is made easier. So, this is the theme of that. Now, you will be getting a flavor of the link to the corporate as well. And in the process of meeting the chief, in this case Lord Krishna, it is not easy. He is going to be a protected person, protected in a very huge place, high security place. So that's how the scenario opens out. So the gist of this is Andal and team, they go to the palace where Lord Krishna is living and try to get an access. And they go to the main gate keeper and the second gatekeepers and request them that we have to have an entry. So, because we already have an appointment, he has already promised to meet us. So, based on his promise, we have come. So, the doorkeepers ask a few questions, what is the purpose, etc. So, we are all small girls, you don't have to fear. So, he also cites the earlier occasions where the people have come in different forms, like Bhutana came as a beautiful lady and created the problem. Likewise, what is the assurance that you are not like that? So, and then these girls plead, saying that we are very small people, and request him to open the door. And it also says we have no expectations of any kind. We would like to just have a glimpse of Lord Krishna and take his advice and blessings. That's the purpose. You don't have to fear. Please don't keep refusing. Please allow us inside. Be compassionate and allow us inside. So, like that, they get an access to the palace. So, this is the gist. So, now how do we pick up some points with the corporate hat on our head and see the total verse? So, we have already seen the first two lines. Nagina ninna Nandakomra Koil Kapane, Koditondum, Tornavail Kapane, Manikadam Taltirvai. So, let us see the first line. The first line is Koil Kapane. It refers to Koil Kapane. It is the main entrance. So, in the current corporate scenario, to get an access to the chief's office, you just can't barge into the chief's office. There are protocols, there are some filters, there are some security checks. The first point is the main gate. As you enter, you have to present yourself, you present your credentials, your possessions, etc., and tell them the purpose, what is the purpose, why we have come, so what is the appointment. So everything is, there is a protocol which is very descriptively written here. So what we see in the current corporate offices, the main security, how the entry is allowed. And once they check all these basic details, then you are going to the second level, where you are checked, frisked for any other security gadgets, etc., then only you are allowed inside. So there are protocols. Here it talks only about two stages. In the current corporate, there are more stages. The main gate, then the security gate, the checking gate, frisking gate, then the reception, then the MD's office secretary, then only the access to the MD or the chief will happen. So this is one line that we are looking at. And Manikadavam. Manikadavam we have already discussed earlier in one of our verses, and that Manikadavam we related to the inner constraints. So here it can be interpreted in a different way. This Manikavadam is a entry stamp for you to go into a new world. A corporate office, you might be working in the same organization. The corporate office is a new area. It's a very, very elite people. We talked of Swargam, heaven. Heaven is a place where all the elite people are there. You are getting an entry into that. So, in Vaishnava Sampradaya, moksha is one of the ultimate aim of everyone. The moksha cannot be granted by the chief directly. So, it has to be recommended by various people. The first person who was recommended in the Sampradaya is Sri Ramanuja, the radical Vaishnavite philosopher, who made a lot of changes in the way we must look at various things in life. So he must endorse. So he endorses, saying this person is eligible to enter. So jokingly we say that he is the visa manager. He is the person who is supposed to give the visa. Then we get into that. Then there is a Lakshmi who has to recommend, and finally the grant will be made by the Lord. That's how the Vaishnavite Sampradaya. Here also it's very, very similar. The Manikadam is the first entry point. You have got a stamp that I got a entry pass. So entry pass, I can enter into the high security zone of the Lord's office, Chief's office. So Manikadam, Tal Tiruvai. Now this door also is opened. So finally we have entered the most important room. Who are we? It says Ayar Sirimiyarom. That means we are the frontliners. The Ayar Sirimiyarom is, we are all from cowherd clan. We don't have so much of knowledge and wisdom that these people have. So likewise we are frontliners, we are in the beginning of our career or in the early stages of our career. We don't have so much of knowledge and experience like these people. So this is an occasion for us to pick up some extra knowledge, and that will add to our experience and wisdom. That's why we are here. So if we have the same kind of a mentality, the opportunities to learn quickly is there. So they are humble, saying that it's not that they are not knowledgeable, especially Andal, she is so knowledgeable. But still she says, I am not a very knowledgeable person, I am a novice, I would like to pick up more things. That means that is a receptivity, is the first thing for a good learning. As we are talking of this, that you must be receptive, it reminds me of a simple analogy of a empty cup. So only when the cup is empty, you can pour into that. But when the cup is full, you cannot pour anything more, because the spillage will be there and that will be a waste. That means whenever you want to learn something new, empty your cup so that others can fill in more. There's a beautiful story about a monk and their disciple who engage into the kind of a discussion. That is not relevant here, but the concept is very relevant here, that whenever you want to learn something, clear your head. Don't have the mindset that I know everything. So you have not known anything, so we are going to learn a new thing. That's how the whole concept of Ayar Sirimivorum. So we are all very, very normal people with no knowledge. Please allow us. And it also has two other words. Manivannan Nendale Vainirdan. Let us first look at the Manivannan. Manivannan is, as the scholars describe, Manivannan is a person who has something priceless. So that money is a priceless thing. So he is in possession of that. So it raises its stature, its his place in the society, etc., etc., etc. The Manivannan. That's the analogy they bring in. So for us, what is Manivannan means? It is the priceless thing need not be anything materialistic. It can be other things also. Our blemishless character, the purity in thoughts, etc., etc., also are very, very priceless. When we have this and display these things, we also have a chance that will be respected by others. We also can go up in the society level. So that is another one that comes to the mind. So Tuilada part 1. So we are here to remind our chief that he has a duty to guide us in our path towards the success of the mission. And the other line also is interesting. Vayal munna munna matrade amma. So quite a number of times people refuse before you start anything. They refuse. No, no, this is not possible. This is not possible. So we must keep on demanding. Don't. We cannot take a no for an answer. We cannot take a no for an answer. So don't keep saying no. Keep saying no. Look at the possibility as to what you can do. So ultimately, if it is a no, we will accept it. But beginning itself, you keep on saying no, 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 it can't be done. Then it defeats the purpose of the entire approach that we are making. And we are not here to take a no for an answer. Please follow us. That is the another line which we can pick up. So a lot of things that are connecting to our current day life also. From here, so Andal is going to take us through a path where she will meet various people who are in the inner circle of Lord Krishna. In our case, it is the inner circle of the chief, and they have the mind of the Lord. So if they recommend, he is going to give us whatever we need. A similar kind of approach will be there in the next verses also. We will enjoy from 17th onwards. Till then, Namaskaram.